found the Celtics the greatest roster construction I've ever seen. The fact that Tatum, Drew Holiday, and Porzingis can be gone, and Derek White and Pritchard last night both drop over 40. Nobody could do that. Now, the Pistons, somebody sent me this, the 04 Pistons that beat the Lakers, similarly, did not have a superstar, although it was Ben Wallace and Rasheed Wallace and Chauncey Billups, Tayshaun Prince. I think the Celtics are a better version of that, a much better offense. Rip Hamilton was on that team as well. I think this team's better. But I would say this Celtics, those Pistons, the Sonics, the Blazers, the Washington Bullets at the time, it's just incredible. And the other thing is people say, well, how come he always makes All-NBA? Remember, the NBA came out with that 65-game minimum to make awards. Tatum always plays 65 games. Like sometimes, is LeBron going to do that? Is AD going to do that? Is Giannis going to do that? Is Luka going to do that? So Tatum's going to make the lists. That doesn't necessarily mean anybody thinks he's Jokic. But if you go look at Jokic, Steph, and Giannis, and LeBron, when they're off, the team is noticeably worse. This team's 10-2 without Tatum and scores 8 more points a game. It shows you how unbelievably historic the Celtics roster is. I mean, I think Cleveland could win the championship in almost any other year in the last 7 or 8. I just don't think they'll get through Boston. So I know Celtic fans think this is hate. It's like, no, this is the greatest non-superstar team ever. You just keep telling me Tatum's a superstar, and I'm just telling you he's a star. He and Jaylen Brown are Tatum's better. It's close. So I love this the other day. Shaq came on after Steph went into the Garden and, rocked another one. Just a great night. And Shaq came on the air and giving the ultimate respect to Steph Curry.
I demand you fans to start putting Steph Curry in that greatest of all time conversation. Just start putting him in the conversation.
So the conversation of Jordan,
Mike,
LeBron, Kobe,
LeBron, start putting Steph in that conversation. I demand it.
Why does the Big Men Alliance need to say something?
Because I am the supreme leader and my voice counts. And I'm saying, listen, I played against Mike, played with Kobe, played against and with LeBron. They're all great. But at some point, we're going to have to put Steph Curry in that category.
I think the greatest compliment about Steph Curry that I could pay him is I think you have to consider replacing Magic Johnson on the all-time starting 5. I'm not saying you do it. You got to consider it. Now, we all know Kareem, LeBron, and MJ, those are etched in stone. Kareem, most unstoppable shot. Michael, the most relentless, greatest player. And LeBron, the greatest Swiss Army knife. We can argue about forwards, Duncan, Bird, whatever you want. But we have 3 etched in stone. I always thought it was 4. I always thought Magic was etched in stone. But if you look, one of the reasons that LeBron and it would wear well, because LeBron would be good 50 years ago, good 10 years ago, good today, good 20 years ago. LeBron's everything. I don't think Magic, he would be great today, but I don't think his game ages as well. I think Larry Bird's game ages better than Magic's because of the 3-ball. I think Larry Bird today would be, what would he be? He would be Luka. I mean, he would be Luka in better shape. That would be Larry Bird. He would be unbelievable passer, unbelievable scorer. Not a great defender, but he'd be Luka in better shape. You couldn't stop him. He'd score whatever he wanted. He would score 40 points regularly. He could score 50 if you wanted to. Bird ages very well. Magic's not a shooter, and it's a shooter's league. That's why I don't like the Houston Rockets in the playoffs. They can't shoot. I don't want to hear about their athletes. They can't shoot. And so, but if you've never seen Steph play, never seen him play, think about this. This is how you would describe his game. He scores faster than any human being ever. Like, remember when Reggie Miller got like 8 points in 9 seconds? That's Steph's entire career. He scores faster than anybody. So he changed. I mean, Magic Johnson may have saved the NBA, but Steph Curry revolutionized not only the NBA, international, high school, AAU, and college basketball. Here's Steve Kerr talking about his best player.
Steph is the most unique superstar of all time. The way he impacts the game is different, and so when you have these conversations about who's the greatest ever, you automatically go to these, these genetic marvels. LeBron and Michael Jordan and Wilt Chamberlain, whoever else. Steph doesn't fit that normal mold, so I love that Shaq is bringing that up because from a skill standpoint, it's not even close. He's he is the greatest ever from a skill standpoint.
Yeah, and I just love that he's enduring and that he was sort of on a treadmill to nowhere. They gave him Jimmy Butler, and he has just said, I'm gonna take one more shot a game and average 6.5 more points a game since Jimmy Butler arrived. That tells you he needed a push. He needed a buddy to show off to, and he's back to being all-time stuff. J-Mac with the news.
No. Turn on the news.
You know, going after Jason Tatum to start the show. I mean, best team in the NBA, defending champions, first team All-NBA, lock again, and you're just trashing him. To start
No. I'd like to say once again, you didn't hear the compliment that the Boston Celtics are the 1970s NBA. They're just better than all those teams. I go back to those Washington Bullet teams. Unseld, Bobby Dandridge, Phil Chenier, Kevin Greavy, Elvin Hayes. They were outstanding. I can name the Sonics roster, the Blazers rosters. But they had like one really good player. Bill Walton was great before the injuries. But it was mostly roster construction. And then all of a sudden, Magic and Bird changed it. Then we became the Dynasty League. And to have a Dynasty League, you have to have a superstar. Last night, Tatum's out. They're now 10-2 without him. There is no other superstar in league history that leaves and the organization wins more. That's roster construction. The star is Brad Stevens and Danny Ainge. Those are the stars of the – they even changed coaches. They literally changed coaches. No effect.
Yeah. I wonder how Tatum keeps getting selected first team All-NBA. Like, honestly, that means he's top 2 at his position forward in the league. In an era with LeBron and KD and, like, you know, Giannis and Luka. Something's giving Tatum a lot of props.
By the way, Klay Thompson made a lot of lists.
He did, yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was awesome in his prime, two-way player.
Awesome.
He was great.
He was the best two-way two guard in the league for 8 years.
That might be.
I mean, number 2 could
like at least 3 or 4. Yeah.
Well, I mean, who was the second best? D. Wade.
It was when Wade kind of phased out and Klay took over. As a two-way
for about
player.
7 years. He was the best guy in the league at his position that fit everywhere. That's what Tatum is. Tatum is a great. He can score. He can defend. He's a good guy. You know, the other thing is stars at some point are they just take the ball and say, talk to the hand. I mean, that's what they do. I think Tatum sometimes is too nice. And it's a great quality as a human. It's not necessarily a great quality to be a basketball superstar.
Do nice guys still finish last, or is that like an antiquated thing?
No, that's antiquated. Nice guys do fine.
Do they?
But they're not as good as Shaq.
You got to be a jerk. I think you got to be a kind of a
well, because sometimes you have to be selfish. Sometimes it's like, it's my ball, it's my team. Marcus Smart, no. You got to talk to him in the huddle. You will not touch the ball for 4 minutes. I need the ball. And by the way, that's what you have to say. That's just what you have to say. But that's not what the Celtics are. I mean, good God. Holiday, Tatum, Porzingis out. Peyton Pritchard.
Hey, he's good, man.
I know
he
he's
might be
good.
the second best contract in the league after Austin Reeves.
They got a couple of them. Celtics have a...
Derek White.
He was for about 3 years.
Stacked, man. They got a great team.
No, it is. If
Luka and LeBron take them down?
I would argue it's an all-time. The Celtics aren't good. It's an all-time roster construction team. I mean, the Heatles didn't have a center and a good point guard. They had 3 great players.
Yeah.
They were totally lopsided.
Yeah, minimum contracts everywhere.
I mean, the Lakers, it was Shaq, Kobe, then some D-Fish, but there was holes. There are no holes on the Celtics. Yeah. There are none. They defend the rim, the perimeter. They can defend on ball. They have no blemishes. Yeah. Tatum's gone. They're 10-2. That is an all-time roster we're looking at right now in the NBA. All right. Diana Rossini topping next hour. Chris Broussard stopping by as well. Oh, I got more Steph Curry love. More Steph Curry love. Wait until you get a load of this. We all have routines that bring us calm in this very chaotic world. Scary.